Jessica Tarlov is a messica, my love. We're over here on Fox News. Poor Jessica. She brings up the Arnold Palmer thing. We're going to go into all this on how the left can't manage media. They can't win anymore. They own it. They own the media platforms, but they can't dominate the content. The right dominates the content, not by force, not by being managers. That's how the Democrats try to do it. And it doesn't work. It's we make better comments and content. I will prove it to you in this video with Jessica Tarlov. Welcome to John, Mike, Keen.
No, well, Joy Behar is responding to things Donald Trump said, not the other way around. And you've seen Donald Trump himself and then J.D. Vance this morning on our own air with Bill Hemmer and Dana struggling to talk about the enemy within comments.
This is about Trump saying there's enemies within. First of all, it's true. There are enemies within. They're angry that he told the truth. Now, the Democrats tried to be like shocked that anyone would say there's enemies within, as if your political party or someone else or anyone was an enemy within your own government or your own country. The enemies all must be without, according to them.
I'm criticizing them because of what I see coming up in November. I see what we're facing. So what I'm saying to them is, where is the sense of urgency? You can't keep saying that there's a threat to democracy and democracy as we know it is going to be gone, but not act like it.
Yeah, Trump makes a great case about the 11 million illegals that came over. We don't know how many of them are terrorists, Iranians. We don't know how many of them are spies, Russian spies. They're enemies now brought within because of the Democrats. We don't know what the foreign interference or Russian, how much influence they've had on any administration on dismantling us or counter operations like Londoner, Hillary Clinton hired the Steele dossier, which is a foreign intelligence from the UK to write the Steele dossier that said Trump peed on prostitutes or something like that. And that was part of her campaign, which is illegal. That's the enemy within. I'll give you another example. The biggest one was just this week. Someone tipped off Iran about all of Israel's attacks, someone from inside our government. And now they know who it is. But that kind of leak, that kind of stuff, that's an enemy within. Democrats are trying to make that into a big talking point and no one cares. Doesn't work.
Given the opportunity to walk it back to say, oh, maybe I shouldn't name check Adam Schiff and the Pelosi's. And he continues with it. He thinks that Democrats are the enemy within. And
they've always done this with every single Republican candidate. Since I've been alive, whoever the Republican presidential candidate has been, they've demonized. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's John McCain. It doesn't matter if it was, Mitt Romney. It doesn't matter who it is. They will demonize the Republican candidate. And now that there's an actual legitimate threat right there in our faces,
they'll say the same thing right back at us. So don't give me this. We're Republicans are the ones that talk about enemy within. Are you telling me go up to any Democrat, any feminist female Democrat and say, is the enemy within that Speaker Mike Johnson wants to stop you from being able to abort the unborn? Is it the enemy within that Ron DeSantis wants to stop people from being able to get puberty blockers for the youth or stop drag queen story hour? You can go down the entire Democrat list. They will treat Republicans more like the enemy within than Trump ever has. Trump was made into a felon. That's how much the Democrats think he's an enemy within. They actually made him a legal enemy within and then mocked him for it. Said, hey, felon, how'd you get a job at McDonald's? And they tried to jail him. Yeah, Democrats, the right and the left, this might be the big problem with America, is we really do think the other side is the enemy within. But Jessica Tarlov, don't you dare say that we're the only ones saying it against you. What do you call them? Are they an enemy? Tell me about your allies. Tell me about your pro-life allies, your pro-traditional marriage allies. Tell me about your allies and tell me how they're great friends of in the core of the United States. She won't even be able to mouth the words.
He doesn't have a problem with sending the National Guard after them. So Joy Behar is...
And again with the National Guard. You guys remember January 6th through the 20th? The first thing Biden did when he got into office to put on a big kabuki theater show of, ooh, it's dangerous and we're all scared. We're terrified over here during the lockdown and the January 20th thing. They sent the National Guard out to I was there in Washington, D.C., walking their streets. There was razor wire up, a 1 mile perimeter around the White House. They had soldiers, national, I believe it was 50,000, but it might have been it was thousands of them standing around in the cold of winter all around so you know who brought in the National Guard? She's all afraid, oh, he's going to bring in the National Guard against the enemy within. No, the White House claimed that the MAGA guys and the right wing were the enemy within, and they brought in the National Guard. Democrats do this all the time. Whatever they do, they accuse you of.
What Sean was saying about the McDonald's thing, that image, it surely won the day yesterday. And I think that for people who are fans of Donald Trump, that is something that will really resonate.
Trump won the McDonald's debate just with a few images, a few hours of his time. Now my friend worked at a McDonald's, and this is what he sent, is a picture of Kamala. It says stolen valor, where she's pretending to have worked at McDonald's. And this made me cry laughing. And then my friend sent me this text. I didn't watch my brothers get burned with grease so she could degrade this uniform. Trump won the media day with that one.
But if you look at what was going on social media on Saturday, for instance, the dominant thread that I was seeing was that Donald Trump couldn't help himself but to talk about how Arnold Palmer was well hung.
Now, I'm not going to suggest what kind of circles Jessica Tarlov traipses in compared to the ones that I do. But in my circles, they were not talking about the length of Arnold Palmer's you-know-what. And Trump made an off-color comment. It was in passing, locker room talk, but out in pub, not in the locker room. And in a way, I think that's like Trump flexing, saying, I can even do this now. I think it shows strength. And I don't mean character. It doesn't show character, obviously not. It's crass, it's gross, whatever. But Jessica Tarlov is not offended whatsoever. Democrats, you know how they talk. Not a single Democrat is in any way, shape, or form offended by Trump talking about Arnold Palmer's privates. Okay. So they can just keep this fake, oh, you Puritan, you poor Sunday school teacher. I'm sure just Trump crossed the line. I'm sure you'd condemn any Democrat doing it, like Lyndon Baines Johnson, who is known for whipping it out, like half of Hollywood that does the same thing, like all of your donors, Harvey Weinstein. Your people are crass. There was disgusting homosexual acts being done in the Capitol, and you did not care. You don't care. We're laughing at you.
So if you look at the totality of that for the weekend, I don't think that speaks that well.
Well, the Wall Street Journal took on those recent comments from Joy Behar and said the fear of fascism would have more credibility if Democrats didn't abuse power themselves.
Joy Behar got owned. If Democrats didn't abuse power so much their own, they might have a claim against fascism, but they don't. They're fascists. They're already doing it. They're clamping down on free speech, their censorship. They're already doing it. What they've already done to Trump is a million times worse than what Trump hypothetically could do.
But listen, we're talking about how the...
No. You tell me, if Joe Biden had stood up there and said, I saw Arnold Palmer in a shower once, and boy, that guy's got it going on down there. What would you have said? That he wasn't fit?
I don't know. When Biden said that his hairs would stand up on his leg, his blonde hairs would, to some little girl, I creeped out that he would say that. I'd say he's unfit. I'm John Mike Keane.